All right, what's going on, Gator Nation? The NFL draft concluded Saturday, and 2 days later, we're reflecting back on what was a little bit of a wait for us Gator fans. But when day three came, it was an eventful day three for fans of the orange and blue. 7 Florida Gators were selected in the 2025 NFL draft, all on day three. The first guy to get drafted was Chimere DK, slot wide receiver. He transferred from Wisconsin to Gainesville and had an immediate impact at that position. Started 11 games for the Gators, played in all 13, led the team with 42 interceptions, had a career best 783 yards with 2 touchdowns, played in the Senior Bowl, the Hula Bowl, and participated in the NFL Scouting Combine. He was also a pretty good punt returner for the Gators. The Tennessee Titans selected him with the very first pick of the fourth round, 103rd overall. And then the next pick after that was a fan favorite, Cam Jackson, all 6'6" and 320 plus pounds of him, going based off of what his numbers said at the combine. He was picked in round five, 140th overall by the Carolina Panthers. Started. I was a 4-year starter in college at defensive tackle, spent a few years with Memphis, and then played his final 2 campaigns in Gainesville. Racked up 69 tackles, 4.5 for loss, a sack and a half, some pass deflections. Had a memorable game against Tennessee in that big win in week 3 of the 2023 season. He got selected by the Panthers, and he wasn't followed too far behind by Jason Marshall Jr., who was picked by my Miami Dolphins, 150th overall in the 5th round as well. A 4-year starter at cornerback for the Gators, was a 5-star recruit coming out of Miami Palmetto. Played in 45 career games, started 39 of them. 25 pass breakups, only had 2 interceptions throughout his collegiate career, so he didn't really live up to that 5-star rating. But towards the end, last year he had a pretty good year, but then he got injured and had to miss the rest of the season. When he got injured against the Kentucky Wildcats, 2-time SEC fall academic honor roll, so good for him in that regards. He was selected on 50th by the Dolphins. The Dolphins need a cornerback because it appears that Jalen Ramsey is going to be traded by the Dolphins in the coming future, not soon, but later on in June. 2 picks later, another Gator got drafted. This guy was a personal favorite of mine. Shamar James, number 152 overall by the Dallas Cowboys. 3 years at Florida, played all 3 years at the school he enrolled at. You don't normally see that nowadays. 166 tackles, 11 and a half for loss, 5 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception. That interception came against the Miami Hurricanes in Week 1 of the 2024 year. Was an SEC All SEC freshman team member in 2022. Had a pretty good outing in 2024. Got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in round 5. The following round, this one made a lot of Gator fans happy to see. Graham Mertz, who transferred from Wisconsin to Florida, like Chimere DK, he got drafted in the 6th round by the Houston Texans, 197th overall. Had a career 73.7 completion percentage at Florida, had 26 touchdowns, and threw just underneath 3,700 yards. Was a good leader, a locker room leader for the team. Accepted the competition that was brought to him by DJ Lagway, and really performed with class both on and off the field for the Gators. And to be honest with you, transferring to Florida was the best move for him, because with the way he played his final 2 years at Wisconsin, if he would have came out to the NFL at that time after his final game in Wisconsin, he probably wouldn't have gotten drafted. But seeing his improvement at Florida, and then hearing about the leadership that he had during his time with the Gators, it probably boosted him to getting drafted in the 6th round by the Houston Texans. Another 6th round pick was this time on special teams. Jeremy Crawshaw, the only punter that was selected in this entire class. Crawshaw spent 4 seasons as Florida's primary punter. He set a UF record in a number of spots: career punt average, career punt yards, career punt attempts, and the 12th longest punt in school history, with a 69-yard punt against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Was named to Associated Press All SEC second team, a Reese Senior Bowl All American, and was a member of the 2021 All SEC freshman team. Off the field, he was a five-time SEC Fall Academic Honor Roll member throughout his entirety career. In every year of his career at Florida, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24. He was selected by the Denver Broncos. And you know what? Punting in Denver, where the altitude is a mile high and it's a lot easier for the ball to travel through the air, that's probably a good landing spot for him. And then, and last but certainly not least, Crazy Bridges, who was the second to last pick of the seventh round. So he was one pick away from being uh, Mr. Irrelevant, or two picks away from being undrafted. He was selected by the Los Angeles Chargers with the 256th pick. He played both safety and cornerback in his lone season at Florida, led the team with 70 tackles, had 2 interceptions, 6 pass breakups, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 forced fumbles. I believe one of his interceptions came in the bowl game against Tulane as well. I know another interception that he had against Kentucky, but he had a good season with Florida, but he also played majority of his time at the University at Oregon, and he was a very good player at both programs. And speaking of undrafted members, Montrell Johnson Jr., who had 3,000 career yards at both Louisiana and Florida, he got signed by the Philadelphia Eagles. And playing behind Saquon Barkley and AQ Shipley, it might be hard for him to get on the field, but they'll have a good offensive line to run behind because the Eagles pride themselves in winning at the line of scrimmage. So I think that was a pretty good fit for Montrell Johnson, and they love running backs that can run downhill, and that's what Montrell Johnson brings. And he can also hit a home run if necessary. You know, you look at his touchdown run against LSU and USF in his first year at Florida. A big touchdown run he had against Miami, a big touchdown run that he had against Florida State. You know, for a big power, bruising power back, he's got a little speed in his game. So I think Philadelphia is going to like what they have in him. He might be one of those undrafted steals. I wish he could have gotten drafted too. But congratulations to all these Gator guys that got drafted. 7 Gators selected, tied with Miami in the Sunshine State for players selected. Florida State only had 2 players selected, which matched their win total from last year. Joshua Farmer to the Patriots in, I believe, round 4, and Azariah Thomas, the cornerback who went to the New York Jets in the 3rd round. So while Florida fans may have had to have waited until day 3 to get their selections, at least they can say they sent over half a dozen players to the NFL this past year, unlike FSU, who had as many draft picks as they had wins last year. So suck it, 2-10-0s.